our end of week technical analysis video. I'm going to be jumping straight into things here. As you already know, this blue vertical line represents the last point in which we left off in the markets. We're going to go ahead and mark up this information that we have beyond this blue line. Considering the space between our last TA is the start of week TA to our end of week TA, there is a decent bit of data to mark up. However, it's going to be pretty straightforward, so this will be short and sweet. There's no point longing things out, if you will. So we're going to start off with our path. Obviously, last time we left off here at this level of 2670. We saw the price was tested around this area as what we thought was a support at first. However, as you can see, price eventually broke down through our POIs and then continued, and we found support first at our level of 2613. Price then came up to test resistance at 2626, and then price came back down to test even a lower level. We are now in the 500 range. Price then came back up to test the previous support of 2614 as resistance. We had some consolidation here where price tested between the range of 2593 and 2614, and then price decided to find support a little bit higher this time at 2606. Came back up to test that level of 2619 again, before price then broke all the way down to where we saw the low at 2536. And then, as you can see, since then we have been bullish. Price has come up to a new level that we haven't actually established yet. We will have a look closer at this level on the lower time frames and work out if this is something that we need to mark in with a box, just to indicate to us in the future that this is a level that we need to take into consideration. And then since prices then dropped down to 2553, and then has now testing where it currently is at 2570. So as you already know, looking at the time down there, London session has already started. We are about an hour and 45 into London session, so we definitely have the volume and volatility that we see in a normal gold market. So yeah, we're going to divulge and we're going to jump into our lower time frames now. We're going to go down to minute 15. There is one thing that I want to speak about real quick, and I believe it was on the hour 4, the weekly chart. So if you guys remember the last time I done ATA, we had this trend line that we marked in on our weekly, and we spoke about the bottom level. I think it was around where price went around 2625. I remember saying if price was to break through this trend line and invalidate it, we will most likely see a bearish flip on the higher time frames all the way throughout the low, driving price down probably to near the 2400s. We spoke about this level here probably being the bottom support of this bearish run at around 2436. But obviously we will see how price action plays out in the future, and we will see closer to the time how it respects that level. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go and clean up our chart real quick. So as you guys know, the trend line that we are currently in is invalidated, so we're going to go ahead and remove that. We're now going to go back down to our daily, and as you can see, we broke through this major support that was holding price up in this bull run at 2606. Price is now broken below it. However, it does seem that price action has slowed down. The bears are definitely exiting their positions and the bulls are definitely getting in. And as you can see, we are seeing some sort of, it's quite a wide range from around 2563 to 2530. So we've got around a 300 pip range from where we're finding support. Obviously, this is the daily time frame, and as you guys know, higher the time frame, the stronger the information. So we could see this level tested, as you know, and as you can see, it is a previous resistance, and it is also one of our POIs that we have had marked in from before. So it's definitely a level to take into consideration and see if price does react and continue to push off of this level. We're going to go ahead and go down all the way to minute 15 now and just sort of have a little look of what's going on, make sure that our key levels that we've marked in are they do suffice and they are holding price, or price is reacting to this level. And as you can see, if we look from the last point that we left off, we definitely can see each and every single one of our point of interests having some sort of play in the market, showing to us that these levels are still valid and they are something that we want to take into consideration. As you can see, price action here, when we saw price come down to this 2536 level, the level that we just spoke about on the daily time frame, that bottom range, we are definitely seeing bullish price action with some heavy wicks and low volume candlesticks, and then resulting in price pushing up. And as you can see, we are now back in this range of around 2570 with the high time frame POI of 2561. If we see price hold above this level, we will most likely see a bullish continuation to our next high time frame point of interest, which will be around 2585. On the long term, if we go to our hour 4 real quick, as you can see again, price action is indicating to us that we are now going to exit this bearish run. As you guys know, we was in a bullish run for quite some time. Price hit 2785 as the all-time high, and since it touched that price has become bearish. As you know from the future, when we from the past, when we was in this bull run originally, price would create an all-time high, come down to test one of the previous resistances, and then continue on higher. And as you can see, that bull run has now been invalidated, and we are now indefinitely in a bear run from high time frames all throughout the low. However, short-term price action, we are seeing some sort of a support being found. And as you can see, if we look to the left of the chart, when we first saw that 2583 all-time high hit, we found a support at 2561, which we'll definitely take into account in the previous price action. And as you can see, price pushed up off of that level, and where price is now, price is pushing off of that same level. So if we see a continuation of this price action, we most likely will see a bullish, a short bullish run. We will most likely won't see a new all-time high hit anytime soon. Matter of fact, we might not even see an all-time high hit by the end of the year. I think for gold, that bullish rally is going to top out at that level we just spoke about of around 2785. I think that is going to be it for this year for gold. What we will most likely see on the higher time frames is just some consolidation, probably between the range of around 2675 to where we are now, basically in a 1,000 pip range, where price will just sort of consolidate on the higher time frames, finding resistances and finding supports, and just confirming to us that our levels are definitely still valid. So obviously, as you know, we still have the whole day ahead of us. It is only Friday. The market won't close till tonight at 10 p.m. GMT. We still have New York session, and I believe we still have some high impact news events that will take place today that will definitely inject some volume and volatility into the market. So short term, for the rest of the day, if we see price action continue, we'll most likely see price continue bullish, and we can expect the level of around 2685 to get broken. The main level that we do want to see broken first is this level here, where price topped out and found a resistance at 2575. And if we see that continuation, if we see that break, price will most likely go to our next higher time frame POI at 2585. If we see this level here at 2670 or 2675 tested as a resistance and price drop back down, we will most likely find this range to finish out the day between 2670 and the low support of around 2555. Yeah, so that's probably about it for this end of week technical analysis video. With price action we're currently seeing, we most likely see a bullish move, nothing of magnitude. We will most likely see a small bullish move, and then price continuing to just consolidate and move in a sideways motion. We're going to go to hour 1 again, where we started. We're going to leave where we left off, and yeah, so if we see that level of 2585 for Monday open, if we can climb back into sort of this range here in above the 2600s, we will most likely come out. Like I said, I don't expect an all-time high hit for gold. However, as you already know, nothing in the market is 100%. You can never be completely certain. Anything in the world could happen. Someone could decide to move a lot of gold. A country could decide to sell a lot of their gold, and in turn would drive price up or down. So yeah, we're just basing it off of what we can see in the markets as of now, basing it off of candlesticks, price action, and resistances and supports. I could go ahead and mark up Fibonacci levels and volume predictors, but there's no point of messing up our chart. As you can see, it is already noisy, and we don't want to make things too confusing. This trend line is going to still be valid, so before we end, I'm going to drag this all the way down, and this could be a point in which we can have a look at in the future. Obviously, like I said, if that level of 2685 is broken, for example, if I go ahead and take a path, if we find that support found here, maybe we see that level of 2585 touched, and then the 2575 level, the main level that we want to break to see that 2585 level hit. Perhaps price could push off of that, showing us a break and retest pattern before price then comes up to test this trend line, and then perhaps create another break and retest pattern off the level of 2585 before price pushes back and into the 2600 range. So short term, most likely move is a bullish, based not just on probability and what we can see price action is currently doing. As you can see in the top left here, gold is currently up 0.17% as of today. So we are definitely bullish at the moment. Overall, we are definitely coming out of that long bull run that we was experiencing. As you can see on the daily, we have had a significant drop, but from minute 15 to around hour 4, we can definitely see some sort of support found at that low level of 2530. So yeah, that's going to be our end of week technical analysis. I hope you lot have enjoyed, and I hope you've had a good week. From what I understand, we've had a much better week in both channels in comparison to the last couple weeks. So make sure you guys withdraw some profits for yourselves. Have a good weekend, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. Remember, don't forget to comment if you have any feedback. Hit us with a like and hit us with a subscribe, and I will catch you guys next week. Peace.